Question: was the Apostle Paul wrong for calling false teachers dogs? And the answer is no. Back during the first century, a dog was a wild animal that scavenged around and searched for food on the streets and stuff like that. See, back then, dogs, they wasn't domesticated like they are today. Back during the first century, dogs were considered to be a wild animal. But was the Apostle Paul wrong for calling false teachers dogs? And the answer is no. Because false teachers are wicked. False teachers are evil. False teachers love to use what is called intimidation and manipulation toward people, to get people to follow them and do what they want done. Back then, you had a group what was called the Judaizers. They were going around teaching legalism, telling the Jews that they had to keep the law and they had to be circumcised in order to be saved, which is false doctrine and heresy. And Paul told the Philippian church to avoid the Judaizers. And he also told the Galatians to avoid the Judaizers because they was teaching false doctrines. They was going around telling people they had to keep the law in order to be saved. And they was going around telling the Jews that they had to be circumcised in order to be saved. So the Judaizers, just like how we avoid them, how New Testament believers and how the Jews avoid them back during the first century, back during biblical times, today we have false teachers in the church, like i.e. the prosperity gospel. We should avoid teachers like Kenneth Copeland, Creflo Dollar, Jesse Duplantis, Joyce Meyer, Juanita Bynum, T.D. Jakes, and others, because they teaching false doctrines. They upsetting whole households, just like how the Judaizers was doing during the first century. Just like the Apostle Paul, he also called out Alexander the coppersmith and Hymenaeus and Philetus for teaching false doctrines. And we must avoid, just like false teachers was avoided back then, we must avoid false teachers today. Because once again, they upset whole households. And they are enemies of Jesus Christ. Talk to you all later. Until the next video, God bless. And once again, the Apostle Paul was not wrong for calling false teachers dogs, because that's what they were. That was not being harsh at all.